Board at 8080810. Fester in Idaho. You're on KJO Ray Taliaferro. Thought I'd hear from you.
Hi, Ray. I finally found someone I can relate to. I believe Reggie White is the next voice of America. In fact, if he had a talk show, I'd be his #1 listener.
Oh, I'll bet you would.
I was hearing.
I'll bet you would.
His church, I think we need more people like Reggie speaking out. I don't think what he was saying was that far from the truth.
Well, what did he say that struck a chord with you?
Well, definitely the one about the homosexuals.
Mm-hmm.
Okay? I definitely happen to agree with that.
Do you think that homosexuals are the ones responsible for causing this horrible moral decline in America?
Definitely do. I think their immorality is just dragging this nation down.
Mm-hmm.
He was a little far off when he was talking about the Japanese making TVs, into watches and stuff like that. But he was pretty close with the stereotypes. He wasn't right.
Oh, right.
But
yeah, right.
I think he was pretty close.
I see. So even you had to draw the line at some of Reverend White's stereotypes. Even old Festus up there in Idaho.
Some, but most of it, I happen to agree with most of his...
Yeah, well, most of them, but even you had to draw the line. Even, I think, Festus, there's hope for you. There's hope for you. There's a little corner of enlightenment I see coming out after all the time that you've been calling the program. Obviously, we've been getting through to you. Reverend Ray is about to save a soul.
Well, Ray, I'm not sure about that, but I tell you what, I'm hoping Reggie gets his own talk show.
Yeah, okay.
Man.
Okay, thank you very much for your call. Right. Oh, boy, what a deal. What a deal. See, even someone as backwards and ignorant and silly and racist and foul as Fester up there in Idaho, even he had to draw the line at some of the stereotypes. Even he knows that something is absolutely wrong when you just shoot off at the mouth with a lot of this claptrap that people have been putting others in the little boxes for quite some time now. I mean, even he does that. So, I don't know. You folks think there's hope for Fester or what? It's probably more hope for Fester than there is for Reggie. Jesus. But, maybe what I ought to do for Reggie is hold a laying on of the hands session here on the program this morning. We need to pray for Reverend White. And maybe I ought to ask the beautiful black woman in the sky. I should ask God to look on Reverend White and give him some grace and some knowledge and some wisdom. Maybe that's the tack I ought to take with Mr. White. And oh man, how ridiculous. I do have lines open on the board at 8080810. David in San Rafael, you're on KJO Ray Taliaferro. Good morning.
Yeah, Ray, I have to make a couple of comments, what an ass he made of himself, Reggie White.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I hate to use that kind of language. In the middle of the night, you can use certain language.
Well, sure you can. That's why I love the Late Show.
But the thing that bothered me I have to say that I'm straight only to make my point that I'm not just coming from a viewpoint of a person who happens to be gay.
Mm-hmm.
He said the only thing he said that happened to be true was that race you're born black, but homosexuality is a decision.
Right.
First of all, I think that's totally biologically that is not accepted by any scientific authorities at all.
No, but it's accepted by Reggie and his God.
And by the way, that's an international phenomenon. As you said, it's pervasive among every group of people in a lot of other nations as well.
Yeah.
The Nazis, in addition to having a final solution for the Jewish people, also murdered homosexuals.
Oh, yes, they did. As a matter of fact, as many. God. I don't know how somebody. Well, I do. I'm just using that as a rhetorical expression, not knowing how somebody could get so far in life if indeed being a star football player is getting far in life.
Well,
and then come up with this kind of nonsense without checking yourself. You would think that he would be a tad bit embarrassed at what he was about to say, so that he wouldn't say it, and that he could go and get good information and use his celebrity status for some positive purpose, not for all this stuff.
Yeah, now I wanted to mention, Ray, a couple of other persons, and you know all these cases I'm going to mention. He's not the sole numbskull who, because they have athletic prowess, they also think they're philosophical geniuses as well.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah.
There's no correlation.
Yeah. No, none whatsoever. And that just shows the depth of their ignorance. Thank you very much for your call. Absolutely. Absolutely. It is just absolutely the most ignorant posture to take. That because you're good at one thing, that makes you, as I said in my opening remarks, he's a great football star on the field. He's good at beating people up, good at running people over, good at breaking bones. And so that means that he's also good at, he thinks, being a philosopher. What a shame. I do have lines open on the board at 8.